where he was supposed to appear. This is the Oregon Judicial Branch, and these were all the hearings that were being held today. So as you can see, his was today, support enforcement, and it was supposed to start at 10:15, but he had to be there at 10 physically. I had to be there at 10. I called in about 9:58 or whatever, and I can tell you that me and a couple of people were sitting in there for an hour. Nothing new to me. This has been happening for years. The only difference is now it is on record, and he will have a record. And for people to think like it wasn't true, or they didn't believe me, or that I'm just doing this because they're on the internet now, you guys, I've been dealing with this for 12 years. The only difference is now the courts are involved, in the fact that he did not show up to court today. It's still going to fall on him.
We're talking about the resilient Jenkins again, and all the updates that have been going on with them. The reason why I waited a little bit, I know there was a lot of updates, especially with Onyx being found, which was one of the cats that got basically abandoned. But I was waiting for today because Drew was supposed to have a child support hearing yesterday, April 7th. Well, turns out he was a no-show. So we got some updates. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and let's get into this. So I do want to start with some Onyx, one of the abandoned cats, was found and is with the same lady, I believe her name was Cheyenne, who took in Milo, another abandoned cat of the resilient Jenkins. And she gave us an update, Cheyenne, that hey, one of the neighbors did have Onyx. They renamed him Teddy, and Cheyenne is going to be keeping Onyx or Teddy, as she did with Milo. They're going to be her permanent pets. Seems like the city of Oregon's Animal Abuse Enforcement Division, I don't know what it's really called in Oregon, but like they are actually looking into making a case against Stephanie with Onyx and Milo, the neighbor that did have Onyx. Cheyenne was going to let them speak anonymously, but the neighbors, as Cheyenne puts in her video, wanted to speak to the detectives and everything themselves because they did see Stephanie not pour hot water on the cats, but near the cats where it could have got onto them. It's good to see that there is actually going to be action taken against the resilient Jenkins for abandoning these cats and leaving them in horrible condition.
He's like, oh my gosh, I'm willing to speak to them, because I was like, I'll keep you anonymous, but they're trying to build a case. So I was asking about his tail, about Onyx's tail, because Onyx is missing a piece of his tail and it's curved. It almost looks like it got slammed in a door, caught in something. I was reading or something that he lost his tail back in February. Anyway, back to the boiling water. So I said, hey, there's rumors that Milo's missing fur because she poured boiling water on him. And he said, oh, I said, I just want to know that like those rumors true, because I'm trying to, they're trying to make a case on him. And they said, so from what I know is that another neighbor that I spoke to, saw her pour boiling water towards them, like throw it towards the cats so they wouldn't want to come back inside. So I don't think she physically poured the water on the cats. He said the neighbor didn't ever see him physically pour water on the cats, but the rumors are true that there was boiling water thrown towards the cats, so they did not want to come back to the house.
We're going to move on to Stephanie and Drew. So Stephanie would make a subscriber-only video speaking about some of the test results that they got back from Drew's like doctor's appointments. Some of Drew's quote-unquote ailments are that he's pre-diabetic, and he has some kind of heart condition, but they needed to run more tests to confirm. And it's like, okay, well, there's plenty of people that are pre-diabetic that have a job, and there's people that have, heart conditions and worse diseases out there that are still working. So that does not really mean anything to me, in my opinion. You can still go put the fries in the bag. I really don't have any sympathy for that. Like, the other thing too is that they're eating all this junk food, and I'll put like a video of their grocery haul that Stephanie recorded. There's a ton of junk food. So like if you're trying to say that, oh my gosh, he's pre-diabetic, it's so hard for him to do anything besides play his PS5.
Sorry, it's so late. I know I said I was gonna post a sub-only video today, and it's just been a heck of a day. It's been a heck of a last hour, if you can't tell by my hair. We just spent like an hour looking for the keys because Bubba has been so like active around in that room, and we just were like, where the heck did they end up? But we found them, obviously, because I'm in the car now. So I figured I'd take this time because I've seen a lot of comments on at least the TikTok side of subscription, people saying like, I subscribed because I wanted to see the updates on Drew's health and all that. And if it comes from a concerning point of view, or if you're just like being supportive and you're concerned, we appreciate that. But if you're just like fishing, it's a little bit weird. But anyways, what I'm going to say is, so far what we've gotten back is a lot of the results were inconclusive. He needs to go to a couple different specialists, and all we know so far is that he's pre-diabetic and he has a heart condition that he needs more testing for. And that's you, but that's another reason why I'm pretty careful about what I post on the subscription side until I feel it out and build a group of supportive individuals who are not just here to troll.
So moving on from this, Drew had opened up a TikTok of his own, is kind of just showing that he's an active dad and he does a lot more than just play PS5. But it's like, we've seen all of Stephanie's past videos from 2023, 2024. All this dude really does is just have a PS5 controller and a headset on. That's really all he does. One thing that video proves and Drew's channel proves is that he can go get a 9-to-5 job and pay back the baby mama, Nails by Arlita, for all the child support he owes. So speaking of Arlita, let's move on to Drew not appearing for this child support case. So we're gonna go back a little bit to when the resilient Jenkins moved out of their first motel. Somebody commented to Arlita saying, hey, well, how are you gonna serve them because they moved locations? And she goes, well, it doesn't really matter. He still has to put his name on documents and the authorities can track him down.
Let me make this clear. Even if they did move, I don't think you guys understand how anything works. Even if they did move, he could still get caught up in that state. My cousin went through it. Her baby dad lives in Mississippi. Oregon went after him in Mississippi. It doesn't matter if they moved or not. I don't know how you guys live this life and not know nothing on how anything works. It's quite frightening. It doesn't matter if he was to move or not. They can still find him in another state. You still have to report things. Okay? But don't come over here doing that. I'm being nice. But don't come over here saying no stupid shit.
Talk about now the court case. Arlita did take Drew to court over child support. So a little bit of background information. Arlita and a caseworker were trying to get child support from Drew, and Drew said, oh, I am working at this time. So the caseworker's like, okay, well, we need information. And he kind of ghosted them. Thanks to Stephanie, not only was Arlita able to find Drew, but she was able to serve him. They also found that in Stephanie's TikToks that she posted that Drew wasn't working. So it means that Drew lied to Arlita and the caseworker months to years before. And now Arlita and her lawyer have made a motion to make Drew contempt in court over his non-payment of child support for their son. Now, this kid does live with Arlita full-time, and Drew has not been in this kid's life since he was 5 years old. Now, the update on this was at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Arlita shared a TikTok video. Drew did not show up to the court case. He was supposed to be at the court at 10 o'clock because the case started at 10:15, and they waited an hour, and he did not show up. Via Arlita's research, she believes that the next step that will be taken will be a warrant issued for Drew for him not appearing in court.
This was where he was supposed to appear. This is the Oregon Judicial Branch, and these were all the hearings that were being held today. So as you can see, his was today, support enforcement, and it was supposed to start at 10:15, but he had to be there at 10 physically. I had to be there at 10. I called in about 9:50, 9:58 or whatever, and I can tell you that me and a couple of people were sitting in there for an hour. If you was really trying to be nosy and messy, you would know that this exists and that you can actually get on yourself. All I had to do was Google the exact number. I even called my caseworker before I even hopped on, just to clarify, because it says I can or I don't have to, but just to clarify that I didn't have to show up. I left her a voicemail, and I probably won't hear back from her until tomorrow, if anything, because she says on her voicemail, she says she probably tries to get back to phone calls in the order that they received. With that being said, with us sitting in that room, and mind you, I was on the phone one, and I was also on, the live stream. So that link, that support link, that was the link that took you to seats inside. And we were sitting on there for an hour. I even logged off, logged back in. Was sitting there for an hour. So I don't believe he showed up. Now, here's the thing, because I went back to look at my papers. Pull it up for you guys right here. Hold on. So right here is where I looked up a bench warrant will be issued, and it's typically issued immediately. So if he did not show up, this is how it goes. You guys can pause to read, do whatever. But this is what would happen since he possibly did not show up. This is nothing new to me. He's been running for many years. It doesn't surprise me that this is happening. Nothing new to me. This has been happening for years. The only difference is now it is on record, and he will have a record. And for people to think like it wasn't true, or they didn't believe me, or that I'm just doing this because they're on the internet now. You guys, I've been dealing with this for 12 years. The only difference is now the courts are involved, in the fact that he did not show up to court today is still going to fall on him. Not only did he lie to them and told them that he was working, he didn't show up. So there's consequences. And most smart people would know, like, if you don't follow the rules, the law, your order, you're held in contempt, and there's consequences to your actions. So you guys don't have to believe me. You can believe whatever you want. Most of you guys believe anything on here anyways. You're probably going to take my words and run with them. A couple of us are pretty curious of what has happened, like, because he hasn't posted in 15 hours. She posted another video, which I thought was strange. I don't know. I mean, we're all going to see how this plays out, but at the end of the day, it's on record. I have documents, no matter how people feel about it or not. No matter how people feel about what kind of phone call I got, because nobody was on the phone with me, period, at the end of the day. She chose this life. She wanted to go viral. She clearly helped me find him. He was going to get served whether or not, to be quite honest with y'all, if they were viral or not. Let's think about it. Even if they didn't go viral or not, he still would have got served. He still would have been held in contempt. I still would have got a phone call. The only difference is I brought it to my caseworker's attention in October before I even made my video. Mind you, a year prior, she had called me to ask me about his whereabouts, and I couldn't give his whereabouts a year ago because I didn't know. I had no clue. Fast forward to this year, she wanted to go viral. It was brought to my attention by his sister. Okay? I seen it. I sent my stuff. Once I looked up for myself, I sent it to my caseworker. Hence, he had already been served those papers back in October. Like I said, I get things before he gets things because I get copies of what's being sent. So everything was going to play out either way. The only difference is there's a magnitude of people knowing what's going on right now because I brought it to the forefront when they were trying to play as if they're this poor, woe is me family on the internet. When in reality, he's been dipping and dodging for the last 12 years. And like I said, I have never had consistent child support payments.
We will see if the bench warrant will be issued, if Arlita is on the right case. And it's just kind of sad that a lot of people are attacking her. People who are from the Resilient Jenkins, like, side, just attacking Arlita, saying she's just hungry for payments, when really, as she said, this has been going on for years. So that is all of the updates that we have so far, especially on this case and on the Resilient Jenkins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.